Welcome back to the Nihilist Media Podcast. This is Bonding with Bond. I'm Mark.
And I'm Nicholas.
And today we watched the first Roger Moore Bond outing, Live and Let Die from 1973, and I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too. I love that you open it on the podcast.
Of course.
I liked it a lot. It's definitely a cool introduction to a new Bond.
I wouldn't say that, but okay.
I think it's cool because it was a good movie besides Bond.
Yeah, I mean, first off, Gun Barrel.
Yeah. Let's start off with the immediate. Obviously, opens up with the gun barrel.
Geriatric gun barrel.
Yeah, he shoots before he gets the gun lined up with the barrel, and it looks terrible.
Yeah,
and I immediately was like, "Uh-oh, this doesn't bode well."
The pre-title sequence is basically the assassination of 3 British officers, one at the United Nations, one in New Orleans, but they have like the death funeral thing.
Yep.
And the other being at a snake bites a man at a ritual in a different country. But the other two are in America. One's in New York, one's in New Orleans, and one's on a made-up country that doesn't exist. Or maybe it does exist and I'm ignorant.
I think they just say it's in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I don't know if they...
Our villain is a prime minister of a Caribbean country.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about Roger Moore. Let's right down to it.
Yeah.
He sucks.
Yeah, it's definitely a different feeling. I'm not sure why they went with him.
Yeah.
It is not to bring his age up immediately, but it's pretty weird.
Yeah, he's I think 47 here, or he's like 46. He's one of those.
He doesn't look young.
Yeah,
and our love interest looks young.
Yeah, well, our love interest is like 18 or 19 years old, and this man is nearly 50. He's,
and
10 years shy from being a senior citizen.
They're in the age too, because almost immediately at the beginning we have our MI6 scene with M and Moneypenny, but with like the M Bond relationship almost seems
brotherly rather than like I'm like you're like my disappointment. So so I believe Roger Moore is the oldest Bond. I believe because I think maybe because I think
Kirk's kind of old, yeah.
Well,
but
no,
he's not this old, but
I mean in terms of like starting.
Oh, okay.
Because I think Brosnan was 42, and Dalton I think was 41. I was like, why are they giving it to 40 guy? I don't know.
Just guess younger people.
Yeah.
Was this, I don't know much more about Roger Moore, but was this late into his acting career, or did he start?
Well, yeah, he was popular on British television in the 60s and stuff.
They said, "Oh my God, we have this British thing for you to do."
Yeah. Well, he was also one of the choices that they wanted for Dr. No.
Oh, okay.
He was one of the ones that was like between him and Connery.
Yeah, they made the right choice. Especially to start the franchise.
Yeah, I feel if Roger Moore was Bond at the start, I don't think Bond would have been a phenomenon.
Yeah, it would have just been a short series.
It would have been Dr. No, and then that would have been it.
Yeah.
And this film's thing is that it feels like an already established Bond, which is because they're trying to get over the whole Lazenby thing.
Yeah, you immediately called it out when we first cut to Bond. There's no reveal. It's just like medium shot of him in bed with somebody.
Yeah.
There's no it's me, Bond. It's just eased in like it's not a new hero.
Yeah, it's and like I'm going to say this now. I'm going to say that this is a fantastic movie outside of Bond.
Yeah.
If this was Connery preferably Connery or Lazenby, this would have been one of the best Bonds, but Roger Moore holds this movie back so hard for me. Because like everything he does not feel right or natural. It feels like icky and gross. And like, he's like 45, 46 maybe. He was born in 1927, I think. And this is 1973, so he's like 46 or 47.
That's a lot.
And like, I don't know, especially coming off of like Connery was so last movie, Diamonds Are Forever. Connery was like 41, and then the movie before that we had a 29-year-old.
Yeah, in the like, Connery looked pretty old. Also, like he had definitely, you could see the age showing up in him. Like in Dr. No, obviously he looked what I would expect Bond to look like, but he's aging as the years go by.
Yeah,
and after leaving and coming back. After going to a 29-year-old and then coming back to him, I was like, "Oh yeah, you're looking older." Then.
Yeah, you're looking a little older, guy. But I think he could have still worked here because he is like
he has charisma.
He has charisma. Yeah, and he has like a sex appeal.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. I think Connery's like sexy.
Mm-hmm.
George Lazenby is a brute.
Yeah.
Who is like not? He's like handsome-ish, but he's a brute.
Yeah.
And then Roger's a pretty boy.
Yeah, I could see that. And yeah, I think that's like the perfect way to put it.
So when Roger's like seducing women, it feels like a creepy dude at the bar.
Yes.
Like hitting on younger women.
Especially with the CIA agent.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, this is like really, really weird. I don't like this at all.
Yeah, and with Connery, it's just like, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In this too, and it might be just the way he was delivering the lines and stuff, it felt like he was prying, whereas with Sean Connery it like felt like it was more just happening, and he was like, okay, I guess we'll go this route.
Yeah, the vibe always felt like sexy.
He wasn't, like not being forced into anything.
Yeah, I mean, and even with Lazenby it felt like that too.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, I'm just gonna say I hate Roger Moore in this.
There were some parts where I thought he worked all right, but overall, especially compared to the other two, it's no competition.
Yeah. We also have our Bond opening music.
Oh
and
my
it's
god,
the best one of the series.
I've heard this song for years, and I had no idea that it was made for a Bond movie.
Yep, Father Paul McCartney, baby.
Yeah.
And Wings doing a Bond song 9 years after Bond said it should be illegal to listen to the Beatles without earmuffs.
Yes.
Take that, Bond.
It's such a good song too,
and
I really like the title sequence too. There's some weird shots, but there's this really like, I guess shocking imagery where it goes from a face
to a skull,
hard cuts to a skull, and it looks wicked cool. I was like, damn, this looks really cool, especially with a really good song too.
Yeah,
there's some of the scenes in it I was like, oh, these are kind of generic, like just babe silhouetted dancing, but the skull stuff I really liked, and the colors, they did a good job with.
We see Bond's house.
Yeah, I was very underwhelmed. I didn't think it would look anything like this in my head.
Well, it's like we've already seen his apartment. His apartment was cooler than this.
Oh yeah, his apartment was way cooler. This seems like Grandpa's house, honestly.
Yeah, because it's Grandpa Bond.
Yeah.
You know, he's in bed with another secret agent from a country that I don't remember the name of.
I don't either, but I really liked that dynamic. I was like, oh, this is kind of a cool little thing.
It'd be cool if they made a movie about that. And this is where we have our M scene. So we don't even go to MI6. We just have it at Bond's house. It feels lazy.
Yeah.
And just like...
I wonder if this is just somebody's house. Not even a set.
I feel like this is like a perfect representation of Roger Moore's in 10 Years Bond. Is like he did his introduction. They don't have the common decency to go to fucking one. They won't even
show up.
They won't even silhouette him to like reveal him.
Yeah.
They won't even. And then they just like M and Moneypenny have to go to him.
Yeah.
And Q can't even be bothered.
Yeah, we're missing Q in this one. He wasn't in the second one.
No, he wasn't in Dr. No. Ever since From Russia, he's been there. And technically, Q was in Dr. No. It was a different actor.
Yeah, who just takes his gun away
and gives him a different gun. Yeah. But with this,
they pick a movie with pretty cool gadgets to not have the guy introduce the gadgets in.
Yeah, especially since they only tell you one aspect of what the gadget does. But anyway. M comes over. He's like, "Yo, good job with the mission, but they're missing that secret agent. Do you know where she could be? Haha, she's in bed." And Roger Moore is just trying. And they're doing like a sex farce thing where it's just like, "You can't let the guy go in the room because he's gonna find the girl."
Yeah.
And what they do, and then Bond makes him coffee, and it's a very complicated machine. And then M's like, "Is that all it does?" Yeah. And he's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, 3 men were murdered. And you need to go figure out who killed them." And then Moneypenny walks in as a naked woman is walking across the room.
Yeah, trying to hide from
which
M. I thought was, I don't know, weirdly slapstick. And then I was like, oh, I guess she's a secret agent, so it would make. I kind of like that she's running around trying to dodge him, but all she does is hide in the closet.
Yeah, when she could have just stayed in bed.
Yeah.
Or in the bedroom.
Well, yeah, for some reason, M beelines to James's bed.
He's like, well, let's get down to it, Bond. Yeah. Moneypenny can be here any minute. Let's go. You remember Hong Kong?
Yeah. I guess maybe he was like, they're missing an agent. I'll check the bedroom first.
Yeah. And then Moneypenny basically is like, oh, James, here's your watch. Q fixed it. And then M's like, oh, but the British taxpayers would like to know that their things are being used for this. And then he just takes M's spoon because it's a magnetic watch. And that's all we're told about the watch, that it's magnetic. But it also can saw things. But we don't find that out until the end. It would have been helpful.
Find it out until he really needs it.
Yeah, it would have been helpful if we had a Q scene for him to tell us
explain a couple things.
Yeah. Even just have Q show up.
Yeah, because there have been times in like watching these movies where I was like, oh, Q showed us this. I bet this saves his life later. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I kind of wish there was a surprise sometimes. But now seeing the surprise, I was like, oh, that felt cheap.
Yeah. Then Moneypenny saves Bond's ass because she goes to get M's coat, but the girl's in there, so Bond, and so
awkwardly thanks Moneypenny.
Awkwardly thanks her, yada yada yada. Even though Bond didn't know she was in the closet. Yeah. And then he goes in the closet as Moneypenny says, "Ciao," blah blah blah. They have no chemistry, so it's not a good Moneypenny moment.
Yeah, and I actually kind of like when Moneypenny first walks in and sees the girl. She kind of like looks disappointed, like, oh man, another not me in Bond's life.
Yeah. I thought when his wife would die, I would have an opening, but
yeah, I tried so hard.
He did kiss me on the lips in that one.
He did.
And then there's a great moment where Bond unzips her, like dress with the metallic
which
watch.
She put on, cramped in the closet.
Yeah, which is like
and zipped up herself.
Yeah. And then we're introduced to Solitaire, kind of, where we're just explaining, we're introducing the idea that she takes the cards, like, and
Solitaire has a better fade in than Bond did.
Yeah.
Solitaire is a cool character, too.
She is a cool character. She's the best Bond girl since Tracy, I guess.
Yeah, it was funny because Domino and Solitaire are two of my favorites. I was like, they're just going to keep naming them after games.
Yeah. Have you noticed that
is going to be my next favorite?
The best Bond girls are the ones with the darker hair.
Oh, yeah.
And then like the ones with the lighter hair are the ones that have the least personality.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I don't know if that means anything. It's just an observation I just made.
Yeah, it feels like as the years have gone on, they've been casting better too. Because as great as Honey is, it's like
she wasn't an actress. I thought Tatiana Romanova was great. And I liked Pussy. And I liked we all liked Pussy, and we all love Domino, and but we're definitely past the era of Kisisuki.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It feels like we casted a lot of great Bond women lately, and then I was like, well, no, that was pretty recent. that was only a couple movies ago. Yeah.
But then we're introduced to Felix once Bond goes to New York, and we have a good Felix this time.
Yes, I was. Felix is one of my favorite characters, and I was like, this isn't bad.
Yeah.
It's like, he might actually be a good addition. Because he has like 2 lines or something, and I was like, okay, that was good. Let's see where this goes.
Of Guy Hamilton's bureaucratic Felixes, this is the best one.
Yeah.
And if this guy was always the bureaucratic Felix and all the other ones, I would have accepted it.
Yeah.
He's a huge step up from the last one.
Yeah.
And then Whispers shoots a mirror gun into Bond's driver, and then they go into a little mini chase thing where Bond is driving with a dead man, so the guy's foot is pressed to the metal, and he's got to commandeer the car. He gets in a car accident anyway, but he comes out unharmed because he is James Bond. Yeah. And then he calls up Felix, and Felix is like, "You what?"
Yeah. It's a good like hard cut to it too. And then that's the second scene where I was like, okay. I was like, he's showing emotion. This is pretty good. This might be a good Felix.
He's missing the sunglasses, but we can forgive that.
Yeah, we can always add those later.
Yeah.
The cars are cool too. The what are they called? The white pimp car.
Mm-hmm.
It is a like the second it pulled up, I was like, that is a great way to show character personality with a vehicle.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that's nice.
And we got introduced to Whispers, who's like, boy, I love it. I love it, Whispers.
Yeah, the henchmen in this are A1.
Absolutely.
It's incredible. Whispers is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I love Whispers, and I love Teehee. I love Baron Samedi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like honestly, this is a Bond film that is stacked with great characters
and great actors too.
Yeah, great actors outside of Bond.
Yeah,
like Felix is great, Solitaire is great, Caramanga is great, and Teehee, Whispers, fucking Baron Samedi, Ruby are all great. The only two that are like disappointments are kind of Bond and Coral Jr., I guess. I
feel like I liked when Coral Jr. shows up, as some people might remember Coral from Dr. No.
Yeah.
Little sidekick of Felix and of Bond in that movie. And they have this great little team going, which kind of gets brought back up in this with Coral's son. And it's a little underwhelming, but the first appearance of him, I was like, that's nice.
Yeah, and then we have a thing where we cut to Kamanga, and he's like giving a speech, and then he turns on a tape player and continuing the speech as he gets into his pimp gear.
Yeah,
which I liked.
Oh yeah, so we got our villains pretending to be a prime minister, but in reality is just I guess it's not really a gang, but like a gang leader. Like he's the head.
He's
of
a heroin dealer.
Yeah, he's like the head of the crime organization.
Mm-hmm. He controls crime in Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it because they also don't reveal that immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like
there's a lot of great like Cloak and Dagger stuff, I guess, where they're like, oh look, there's two bad guys and all the little stuff like that going on.
Well, like the way they frame it is that there's like this criminal empire and you don't know how massive it is. And then there's a point where they reveal that it's actually quite small.
Yeah, because when I forget the character's name. It's
Mr. Big.
No, the CIA guy who is friends with Felix, who saves Bond in the alleyway in Harlem.
His name's Smokey?
We can call him Smokey. I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
As we know, I'm bad with names.
I distinctly remember there being an S.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
For some reason, I'm thinking it's either Bones or it's Smokey.
I don't think it was Bones.
Yeah.
But like he talks about when
Mr. Big.
Yeah, is like this huge like all the crime, like everybody in Harlem works for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of make it seem really like that when they have literally every corner somebody has a phone when Bond's doing a little reconnaissance. He's following a car, but the tail's being tailed and is also being tailed by every corner. There's an informant calling.
Yeah.
Did we talk about the taxi driver?
The taxi driver hasn't happened yet.
Okay. Oh.
We go to a voodoo shop first, and
yes.
He finds that the pimp car is there, so now he knows there's a connection between the two. And to find that, he has to tell the lady who works there, like, can you wrap this stuffed snake vertical, please? Yeah. Which it's more, so he comes off as a posh prick when he says it. If Connery was there, he would have and then she would have had sex with him.
Yeah. He goes, yeah, I have a couple minutes before that car leaves.
Yeah, and then when that happens, I believe I know it's Whispers, I know it's Solitaire, I know it's Teehee, but I don't know if it's Kamanga or it's Mr. Big who leaves with them. But they all leave.
Yeah. Well,
Who cares? It doesn't really matter.
The crew leaves.
The crew's gone, and Mr. Big is not there anymore.
Yeah.
And they end up going to no, that's a bit later.
They're going to the restaurant. They're going to this is because Bond follows them, and then this is when they have the rotating booth.
Hold on a second, then. Hold on. Is
What?
this a continuity error?
What?
Because think about it. Because when they go back to that bar, they're in New Orleans.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I think they say there's multiple. It's like a franchise. It's
Okay.
That's how he's like distributing the drugs.
I'll accept that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's accurate. Because if I look at the, because we watch it while it's happening. If I look over and it's the same fucking store,
It's the same.
I'm gonna
story.
fucking flip.
It's 1,000% gonna be the same one.
I'm gonna be pissed.
'Cause
Anyway,
I think at the end they do that, the trope of bad guy finally tells you everything he's gonna do. I think he's like, when on your monorail system,
yeah,
you take the heroin and distribute it to your restaurants.
we have our guy, our
Yes.
another favorite henchman, the taxi driver,
He's great. He has sideburns.
for days.
Yeah, you could cut yourself on them.
Yeah, don't touch him. You'll get burned.
Yeah.
He's like, where do you want to go, Jim? And he's like, take me uptown.
Uptown.
And he's like, I'll give you $20. You follow this car. And he's like, $20. I'll take you to a Ku Klux Klan meeting.
And when he's like, let's go uptown, he's like, dude, we are heading to Harlem. He's like, this is not where you're going.
Mm-hmm. And it's a great moment. And I love him, and he'll show up later, and he's fantastic.
He's great.
He should have been in the film more. He should have been James Bond.
That would have been cool.
Bond, Jim.
And,
Jimmy Bond.
he could have played a cool henchman more than just the taxi driver.
Yeah. He should have been Kamanga's personal driver.
Oh, yeah. Just to get some more screen time on him.
Yeah. Because they have like this brilliant cast of characters. All right, it's
so
a different club. It's a different club.
Okay.
They won.
It's still Filet of Soul, though.
It is Filet of Soul, but it's a chain, so it's no longer.
Yeah, it's a different storefront at least.
Yeah. There is one in Harlem and there's one in New Orleans. I'll accept that. So what happened? Anyway, Bond goes in there and he sits by a booth and he orders something that's not a dry martini, shaken not stirred, because he doesn't want to be Sean Connery.
Yeah, which is dumb. Yeah, because he orders it again later. It's just like he's like,
bourbon.
I'll have a bourbon.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
It's like, cool.
Yeah, I really want to make this role my own.
Yeah.
I'll take away a cool characteristic.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't say my name's James Bond instead of saying my name's Bond, James Bond. My name's 00.
007.
007. James Bond. License to kill.
Yeah, that just reminded me of the deck that the tarot cards that Solitaire uses have like a really nice design that says 007 on it.
Yeah.
And it looks really cool. Just saying 00. I forgot about it till you brought that up.
Yeah. It's kind of stupid that it's a thing, but
yeah, I think if it was a little less obvious, it would have been kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it's like the only thing that's on the back is like 007 4 times.
Yeah.
Almost a little stylistic.
As this is happening, though, as Bond goes there and the drink's bringing him his drink,
Mm-hmm.
he pulls out a 20. He's like, "There's something else I want. I want information." And then as he's saying that, the room, like the wall turns.
Yep.
And then the guy just takes the 20 and starts drinking.
Yeah, and drinks the bourbon that James Bond had just ordered, which it's even like that bartender acts better than Roger Moore.
Yeah.
Like there's so much sass in him just turning immediately around while Bond's like, "Where am I going?"
Yeah. And then he introduces himself. "My name is Bond, James Bond." It sucks.
Yep, it's so bland.
Yeah. And he meets Solitaire, who is hot as hell.
Yeah.
And she is like, "I'm a Solitaire person. I like to I can
Tarot card
I can tarot read." And
Yeah.
he's just like, "Oh, blah blah blah." And she's like, "Oh, you might have found your card." And it says "The Fool."
Yeah.
And then she pulls up another one. And it says "Lovers."
Yes.
And he's like, "Oh."
And she's
we'll
like,
fuck
"Uh-oh."
later.
Yeah.
And we meet Tee-Hee.
Yes.
And we see a Tee-Hee.
The better doctor no.
Yeah, he has a claw.
And this shows perfect. Tee-Hee takes Bond's gun after he asks Solitaire if he's armed, and because Solitaire can read the future, She says yes. So he takes a gun, and then what we didn't get in Dr. No just like crushes this stupid statue thing on his dinner table. And I'm like, okay, what was that, like cardboard or something? Like this, we get to he cutting his gun, and it looks
bends his
awesome.
gun in half.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I feel he is strong and scary.
Yeah. And then Bond walks around, looks at henchmen, like holding his gun. He's like, "Oh, look at this! Look at this!
Look what he did! Look what he did!"
And he drops it, and it's just like,
great delivery.
yeah, Connery would have bent it back.
Yeah, just by staring at it.
And then he would have had sex with the henchman.
There's a really cool part too that I like, another case of, I kind of wish we had chances to fix little things in this. Obviously they can't say motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
And which character is this?
Mr. Big.
Oh, okay. Mr. Big comes out and he goes, "Is this the mother who was trailing me?" And I was like, I wish you swore. And then I really wish he said, "Is this the fool who was following us?"
Because he just pulled up the cool
fool
card.
Just pulled the fool card. It writes itself.
Yeah. And he said something about, "I'm looking for some names." He's like, he says, "My name is Bond." He's like, "Names for tombstones, baby."
Kill him.
Bring him up back and put a bullet in his head. And I'm like, fuck yeah!
I'm like, this is so cool.
Kill Roger Moore! Kill him! Kill him!
It's such good delivery.
Yeah, and then as Bond's leaving, he's like, "Solitaire, I won't be long. Don't go anywhere because we're gonna have sex soon."
Yeah, I pulled the lover card. That could only mean one thing.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna have sex,
and you're gonna love it. I'm gonna take your superpowers away.
Yeah. And then Bond sees a gun, and he has like a timid reaction where which is weird. Like, why would he do that? He's having George Lazenby all hope is lost moment when it's like, there is hope still. And then great set, by the way, great Harlem.
Oh yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, I love New York. And then he fights these men like a geriatric 47-year-old man would.
Yeah. Very
slowly.
And they do nothing to fight back.
Yeah, he pulls down a staircase and
fire escape stairs.
Yeah, and then he slightly puts his feet on their chest. And then CIA man, Smokey, I think that's what his name was, is like, "Hey, what are you doing in Harlem? A white guy in Harlem? It's a bad disguise, Bond."
What is he? He says, it's like, or somebody says it's like following a cue ball.
Yeah.
I was like, that's perfect. It's the entire 10-15 minutes. He's the only white actor. It's perfect.
Yeah. And basically, he's like, "Yeah, let's go back to see Felix, yada yada yada." Mm-hmm. And then I think we go see Felix, and Felix is just like, "Yeah, Kaminga, he's a prime minister of this country, yada yada yada. Here's all the exposition you need.
Go check him out."
Yeah, Mr. Big, and also we're told that Mr. Big has a stranglehold over the crime in Harlem. And he can get the biggest he can get anybody to work for him. Mm-hmm. And if you have a problem with them, you're probably fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bond goes, "I got a problem with him."
Yeah, well, I got an issue. He's kind of my target, and he kind of just wanted to put a bullet in my brain. So
let's get him.
Yeah. So, and what happens next?
I'm not 100% sure.
Felix is on the lighter, and then because it's
joke, yes, in the car.
Ha. Yeah. Felix is a lighter. And then I think he goes to
That's when
country.
He gets on the plane again. Yeah. And then they head to the hotel room. And he goes, "I'm here to check in." And he's like, "Oh, Miss Bond's already here." And he's like, "What?" Excuse me?
And we're also introduced to Baron Samedi. Mm-hmm. And he's awesome.
Yeah, he's doing a stage show at the hotel that Bond's staying at.
Mm-hmm. Very clever. Yeah.
And the makeup's sick. He looks really cool.
Yeah, and his humping is fantastic. Yeah. But I made a joke while we were watching it when they said, like, "Yeah, Mrs. Bond has already checked in." I was like, dude, if fucking George Lazenby agreed, that man would have burst into fucking tears.
Yeah, exactly.
Where'd you say that name?
Why'd you say that name?
Yeah. It was in Batman v Superman. Why did you say that?
That's like. It's little things like this where it's like, oh, his wife died 2 movies ago. He should be more upset at Mrs. Bond than who?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not married anymore.
Yeah. Oh, behave. He goes in there. Mrs. Bond isn't even in there. So
Yeah, and that's because
stupid misdirect.
I forgot that this is supposed to be the same Bond. Like, this is the same series. And, like, it made perfect sense that I forgot that because he shows no emotion for anything from the past. I didn't realize that it was, like, a continued storyline until Quirrell Jr. I thought they were starting fresh with him.
No, this is gonna be the same man until 2002.
Yep.
There's only two Bonds really. There's only this Bond and Daniel Craig.
Yeah,
and that is it.
It's so weird. I don't know how you feel, but I kind of wish they did other series in it, just to try to do earlier ones better.
I don't.
That's fine.
I think that they should. I don't like the fact that Daniel Craig is a different Bond.
Yeah.
I think that they should have just done a prequel with.
Yeah, I do think that your prequel idea is pretty cool though.
Yeah.
To do it before everything, but I also kind of wish they could have. Our proposed fixes for storyline issues could have actually happened, maybe.
Yeah, and I mean, in a perfect world, I wouldn't even want there to be 6 actors who play James Bond.
Oh yeah, and that's like I think. Because they all play him, well, 2 of them play him pretty similar. Well, no.
No, they all play him very similar, except Roger Moore.
Yeah. Sometimes he's more brutal, but yeah, this is just terrible. Like, this feels like a different person to me.
Yeah.
And imagine if it was.
I mean, you can make the argument that, like, that makes sense with what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
Now he's a little bit like calmer, but it also doesn't make sense why he's more relaxed. Like he should be actually more angrier and more brutal.
Yeah,
this is the time to bring in a Timothy Dalton.
Yeah,
but instead it's like we have this guy. We also tried doing the espionage thing from the original from the Sean Connery era, but it sucks because it has no music first off.
Yeah, and it's pretty dry and boring too.
Yeah, and he just also uses gadgets to do it, and it's just like Connery just did it with.
Oh, that's a good point.
Connery's just the guy. Connery's ripping out his hair and putting it on doors and shit. Yeah. Roger Moore's like hitting buttons and being like, "Oh yeah, there's a microphone on the bed."
And then to skip a tiny bit forward, they try to redo something else from Connery too, with the beautiful spider scene from Dr. No.
Instead, they do it with a snake.
Yeah, they I don't even want to say they do it with they try to do it with a snake.
Yeah,
and it's just the complete opposite of everything that happens in the Dr. No. Like in Dr. No, there's a spider. It's crawling on Bond while he's vulnerable and in bed, like not staring in mirrors and taking a bath. But it's like intense. The lighting's insane. It's all red. He's drenched in sweat, freaking out that this poisonous spider's on him.
Roger never sweats.
Yeah, and then he gets it off him and then starts beating it with a shoe behind the bed.
Well, what's awful about that is that they start the snake thing and then they have a waiter come in, Whispers, my man.
Yeah.
And Whispers is
it's forgivable because it's him.
Yeah. And he's just like, "Excuse me, sir, I have your champagne." And Bond's like, "What the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about?" And he's just like,
Want me to open it?
What? Can I open it? And he like stares at him like, what the fuck? Oh, yeah, I got it.
It's perfect, too, because he doesn't raise his voice. He just whispers louder.
Yeah.
Like, it's completely the same, but it feels more aggressive.
Yeah. So they undercut the tension with the snake. Because we cut away from the snake when it should be like, if you're going to do that thing, it has to be like a continuous
Yeah, it has to have music.
Yeah. It has to be a continuous moment, you know?
You gotta tell me I have to feel worried.
So Bond goes out, he pays for his meal. Or he pays for his champagne.
Yeah, he signs a check.
And then he walks back into the bathroom and the snake's now on the floor. And it's just like, it would have been better if he's in the fucking tub.
Yeah, it gets in the water with him.
Yeah, it's like on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Something. Instead, he's like in the mirror. He's putting on aftershave. 1, he didn't even fully shave, so it's bullshit. Yeah. And 2, he looks over the snake looking like a fucking 80-year-old man. And then he's like, oh, I have a cigar, so I guess I'll light it on fire.
Yeah.
But he also doesn't directly light it on fire. Like, he just kind of has the flame go in his face, and then he just kind of like goes to bed.
Yeah. And it's like, it's not even close to him. Like, I wouldn't even say it was in, like, striking distance. I don't know what kind of snake it was, but, like, from what I've seen, they kind of, get aggressive. This is just, like, a snake crawling on the ground, going towards him, and I hate it. It's literally the opposite of the spider scene.
Mm-hmm. But then they immediately go into a gun coming into Bond's, like, a hotel room. Like, too much is going on. He puts the cigar on the hand. He throws the girl onto the bed. We find out it's Rosie Carver, Mrs. Bond. She's a CIA agent who is incompetent. Mm-hmm. That is her character.
Yeah. Well, it gets a little more deep when they're like, "Oh, she's a plant." It's a little deeper,
a little bit, but
yeah.
like you're like that's like
because it kind of shows that Mr. Big has people like everywhere. Because it's a CIA agent that was on his side.
True, but we've already established that with everything else.
Yeah, because I don't know if it's shown it yet, but like the police force is his too.
Yeah,
I think that's on the
that's on the island.
Yeah,
with no, I don't mind this. It's that it doesn't lead anywhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's dumb, and their chemistry is so bad. Mm-hmm. It's like I want to look away from it.
Yeah, Moore has chemistry with one person in the film, and it's Kananga.
I think there are parts where he does all right with Solitaire, but overall, it's not good.
I disagree entirely. Every time he looks at her, I'm like creeped out.
Yeah, I think the scene with the watch, like the
scene where he's not even looking at her.
Yeah. That basically that one.
The scene where they face him away from her. That's when they have chemistry.
It's kind of cool because he knows that that's the wrong serial number.
Well, I don't think that's chemistry.
I guess that's more chemistry with him too.
That's also just acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so Bond sends Rosie into the room, and she sees the dead snake. She screams, freaks out, and then like, Bond's like,
"There's this burnt snake on the ground, like that's a threat."
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna lick you into shape," and then he tries banging her, and she's just like, "Actually, we're gonna be this like."
Felix warned me.
Yeah, he said if all else fails, use a cyanide pill, and Bond's was like, "Oh." Now,
which is, I don't mind that line, but it's delivered terribly.
Yeah, it'd be better if it was a character who would be there for longer, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing: is he points out a continuity error.
Yes, there's at the beginning, when Bond checks into the hotel. The guy's like, "Oh, Mrs. Bond's already here," and he's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, she asked for a more intimate suite, and so we moved you to number 12." And then we get in there, and there's this weird tension where he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna have sex," and then she goes, "I got one with 2 bedrooms." And I was like, that's real intimate. We switched you from a 1-bedroom to a 2-bedroom.
Yeah. And then we have a moment where she goes into her bedroom, and there's like a little hat on there, and she's like, it's a warning, get it out of here. I don't want to be alone. And so they fuck.
Somebody's hat, yeah.
Yeah, but it's also a tiny little hat, and Bond's like, oh, it's okay. It's just a tiny man's hat who lost a fight with the chicken.
Yeah, because it's got bloody feathers on the top.
Yeah.
It's probably like a effigy, like a...
Yeah.
Bad mojo, but like, who put that there? We saw Whisper the whole time.
Probably Baron.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Because he's got this weird mysticism to him the whole movie too.
Yeah,
I'm actually thinking back. I'm pretty confused about if he's alive or dead.
That's the point.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it fits with like the lore of that.
Yeah,
I guess religious figure.
Bond gets sent a card,
yes,
presumably from Solitaire.
After the weird night that I guess they spent together. We get wife beater of James Bond. The type of shirt, not he doesn't beat her.
I was like, he hasn't hit a woman.
Yeah.
We don't have that segment this week.
Yeah, we get to skip that one.
Yeah. He gets a car that's upside down.
Yes.
And so that's a thing that means like someone's gonna betray you. Yada.
Yeah, there's with tarot cards, if it's upside down or the right way up, they have different meanings for the same card. Mm-hmm. So he sprints to a tarot card shop
and buys a bunch of them.
Yeah, and buys a bunch of the lover card, and then those come back later.
Yeah, then they go back to a boat. And
they get the offer of warm beers.
yeah, and what happens is they go off and they wake up Coral Jr., but they don't say his name is Coral Jr. yet.
Mm-hmm. He says like, this boat looks promising.
Yeah,
or it's like this
one's lively.
Lively, yeah,
or eager enough. And then Rosie's like, "Can I change somewhere?" And then he's like, "Yeah, down." Oh, first he just looks at her and he's just like, and she's like,
"Clothes
off."
Yeah.
Where? And he just points down, and then she goes down there, takes off her dress where she has a bikini on.
Yeah,
that she was gonna wear anyway, so she could have taken it up upstairs.
I hate it so much.
Yeah,
and it's like, because it clearly cuts to her taking the robe off. I was like, you could have just cut it to her like tying the back of the bikini or something, and it would have been 1,000 times more like made actual sense.
Yeah, and then she hangs it on the rack, but then it shows that she has a bunch of spy shit and a gun. So she goes up there with the gun. And she's just like, hands up, and then
Coral Jr. or Bond,
and then Bond's like, oh god, I hate this bitch. He's like, yeah,
you caught him.
Yeah, he caught my buddy Coral Jr. And she's like, I could have shot you. And he's like, yeah, you could have killed me if you had the safety off. Which is a good line.
Yeah. She's a good agent. Yeah, Coral Jr. he has a couple parts that I like a lot.
That's the only part that I like.
I also like, and it's a small thing. It's not really even him, but when he, at basically the end of the movie, when he's like, "Where's Bond?" And Felix he's like, "Oh, I checked behind the rock and his suit's gone, so he must be on the way back." I was like, "Ooh, I like that," because I would have been like, if he just showed up and he's like, "Oh, I don't know, where is Bond?" I would have been like, "Oh."
Yeah.
Write something else, please.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the little things like that.
Yeah, I also don't think I just don't think that the character of Coral is good enough.
Yeah, it's definitely not flushed out.
Yeah, I think that this would have been better if it was just Rosie. Give her more things, because I feel like the whole idea of her going up there is just
he's like, "Hey, can you help Bond because you have a boat?" Yeah,
like that's why she's there.
Yeah, rather than just
like, why is she with them?
Why isn't Felix there?
Yeah, because like and also like, why would Felix even put her on the case when the last person she worked with died?
Yeah.
It's almost Guy Hamilton doesn't know how to direct a movie or something. Anyway, Solitaire's talking to Caramanga, and she's like, "What do you see?" He said, "He's coming by boat." Mm-hmm.
And she's reading this through the cards.
Yeah, and then she flips to the next one. It says the lovers, and he's like, "What does it say?" He's like, "Does it say death?" He's like, "Yes, it says death." He's like, "Okay, kill Bond." And it's just like, I mean, if you could have said kill Bond, and then you could have asked her, but like,
I think that the lover card came up. She should have told him and been like, I think you guys are gonna fall in love. The lover card came up. But that would be too good.
Yeah. And then while this is happening, I think Bond and Rosie fuck. Right?
Yeah, they get on the island first.
Yeah, they're on the island. Yeah, I mean, they're already on the island.
Why do they bang on the island?
I don't know. And then basically,
it's literally just out of nowhere.
Yeah, they fuck outside by the river, and then
where did he get the pillow? What is happening?
After they fuck, Bond's like, "Yo, I found this card, and that means you're a fucking backstabbing bitch. So, what's going on? Where is he? Blah blah blah." She's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I can't tell you anything because they'll kill me. They'll kill me if I tell you." And then he pulls out a gun on her and he's like, "I'll kill you if you don't." Which it feels so awful.
Oh yeah.
The best part is like when she's like, "You wouldn't kill me even not
after what we just did,"
and he's like, "I wouldn't have killed you before."
Yeah, and it's delivered terribly.
Yeah, it's delivered by a fucking weird pervert rather than a hot pervert.
Yeah.
Like this needs Connery.
Yeah,
it needs him.
There's like a good joke after too, where she's like moan crying, and he's like, he says something about faking it.
Yeah, he was like the act is wearing itself thin.
Yeah.
And then it's like
I thought it was funny, but it was like delivered really terribly.
Yeah, it's because she sees a scarecrow with a gun in its mouth.
Yeah,
and Bond doesn't notice it.
Yeah, because it has like throughout the island, there's scarecrows with cameras in the eyes, and then it's got a little gun in its mouth.
Yeah, and then the scarecrow kills her. And that's the end of Rosie. So Rosie shows up. She acts stupid on the boat and then dies. She gives no information, really.
Yeah.
That we don't already know. She's just there to die.
Yeah, because I was like, well, yeah.
She should have been the one who just could get him on the island.
Yeah.
After that, Caramanga gives Solitaire talking to him. He's like, you saw death and you didn't die. What the fuck is up with this shit, bitch?
Yeah.
And she's like, the girl died. Yeah, you didn't ask who died. You asked me if I saw death, and I saw death.
Yeah.
And he's just like, gee, leave us. And he's just like, yo, your mother fucked up a lot because after I fucked her. So, like, and I'm going to take that from you. So, hold on. Does that mean he's her?
No, I don't know.
Because if he was working with her mother.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. I don't know if it's said that he's the reason she lost it. But, yeah, I would assume so by the way he acts. But that would make him her dad. Yeah.
And then she's white.
And also there's like weird sexual tension.
Well, because his whole thing is that he wants to take it from her.
Yeah. But before we move on from those scenes with Solitaire, the costuming is sick.
It is sick. It's
dude,
fantastic.
There's like this outfit that's like built into a chair that's like super jeweled, and her makeup's really cool too throughout the movie.
Yeah.
There's a couple times where I'm like, the eyeshadow looks kind of boring. But like there's like right now she has a painted snake on her head, and it's great.
Yeah.
Her outfits are all cool. And they do a good job with their hair too.
Yeah, they have a great scene here with like Caramanga.
Yeah,
and,
it's like everyone's a good actor but Roger Moore.
Yeah. And it's really good because I don't know, it's like you feel the tension between the two, and he's like really scary, and he's dominating over her.
Oh yeah.
Yafia Koto is just a great actor.
He destroys it in this. Yeah. Like he is so good.
Yeah. If you haven't seen Blue Collar, he's great in that with Richard Pryor and Harvey Keitel.
And he's an alien.
He is an alien. Bond fucking parachutes into there, or he like, what does he do?
Paraglide.
He paraglides into the island.
I said it looked like Jurassic Park 3.
He paraglides onto the island that he was already on, and
oh my god, you're right. He's already on the island. Dude, this is so dumb. It's like they just had to force a day for night scene where he uses another gadget.
Yeah. That's
like,
the thing.
He kicks one dude off a cliff.
Yeah, that's the thing with the Moore era is that they do things just to give you more gadgets.
That makes me sad.
It's because back in the 60s, everyone was like, we need more. Oh my god, the gadgets are so cool in these Connery movies. You need more of them. And then to make up for Moore's lack of charisma, they were like, let's give him more gadgets then. Yeah, it's awful, right? Yeah, Nick was talking after he watched this movie. He's talking about how much he loved this movie. Now he's like sighing and being like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, there was a lot I really liked. Like, I think the story is pretty solid. The henchmen are solid. The villain's sick.
Bond Girl is sick.
Yeah, Bond Girl's like top tier.
Anyway, he paraglides in, and then he's like sitting in Solitaire's thing, and then
the cool chair that I was just talking about. It cuts to James sitting in it, so he's got this like beautiful dress over his suit.
Yeah, and he's like, the cards say we're lovers, don't you believe? And he's like, pick, and he pulls out the card. He says, pick one, and then she picks it, and it's lovers. And then he starts kissing her, and then the camera pans down, where it's revealed that James had a full deck of lovers cards because he wanted to have sex.
Because he's a monster.
Yeah, which Nick asked the question.
Immediately I went, is this rape? Because she trusts the cards, and he completely loads the deck. And then
it's definitely coercion.
Yeah, because, well, I mean, she did pull the card twice already, like, not rigged. But, like, then he's...
But it was just telling the future, which the future was that he was gonna...
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I don't approve.
Yeah. And then this 47-year-old man has sex with an 18-year-old girl. Yep.
And so the thing with fortune telling is you have to be a virgin, or the power can be taken from you. And that's why she's so torn about this whole lover thing. It's not just like, oh, I shouldn't love you. You're my enemy, like it has been in a couple of the past movies.
Mm-hmm.
This one, she's like, oh, this will ruin my career.
Yeah.
But it also was in the cards. So it's like, I actually think it's pretty, and it helps that she's a good actress. But I think it's pretty like intense from her side. And then Roger Moore is just
creep.
It creeped the whole time.
Yeah. And as we say that we are hypocrites, because if Connery did this, we would probably be like, this is awesome.
Yeah. It's true.
I mean, think it's because they cut to him in bed. And he's got like tits.
Yeah, he's definitely not the most fit.
Yeah, he's got boobs, so it's like what's weird is he's not like covered in hair.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess the hair did help Connery a lot. It gives him some leeway with his physique.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, and he's not just ripped like Lazenby was.
Yeah.
He's just like this old, aging man, fucking like touching her face and being like, "So where is Caramanga?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Dude, my life is over."
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Oh."
He's like, "No, babe, just tell me the future." She's like, "I can't now," and he's like, "Oh, I'm a dip."
Yeah, he starts putting on his clothes after that, and then she's just like, "Wait a minute, before we go to the island, can we fuck again?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh,
actually, that was pretty cool."
Yeah, she's like, "No sense of going off half cocked."
Yeah.
And they fuck again, and then they go to the thing, and they get into a double-decker bus. And
well, does that happen before the plane stuff?
Yeah.
It must, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they get in a double-decker bus, and Caramanga's like tells the police like arrest that man and kill him and don't hurt the girl.
Yeah.
And this is after Bond found I believe this is after. Was it before or after that he finds the heroin?
He's with her.
At some point they find heroin.
Yeah, I think that's after the bus scene, before the plane scene. Because the plane scene is when he gets caught again. The middle of this is kind of like all over the place with them jumping back and forth between locations.
Yeah. They go back between the country and New Orleans.
Yeah.
Every other scene.
Yeah. Because the boat chase is in New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
the
plane
thing is
thing
not in the country.
Oh man.
Wow,
Wow, this like middle part's pretty convoluted actually.
Yeah.
It made sense watching through perfectly, but looking back I can't tell what order. I know it goes bus, plane, boats. But I don't know where any of the middle scenes fall on it. Because I don't even remember when he's with Felix in the bar, when that is.
That's
before.
That's before the boats.
Okay.
That's before the
We're
alligators.
getting there.
Yeah. We're putting the movie back together.
Yeah, we got all the pieces.
Yeah,
we
we're
just
in
don't know.
We're in the writer's room now.
Yeah.
Boats. Felix Bar? Question mark. So anyway, Bond finds heroin. Oh yeah, there's like a part where Bond's trying to get like information off of her in bed, and she's not getting it because she's crying because she just lost her virginity and her future, and he's oh god, fuck this guy, I hate him so much.
Yeah.
And then so what happens after?
Because it's not even like Sean Connery. There's like scenes where he's like, this is just part of the job that I have to have sex with people. Like there are times where he looks at his watch when he's like, okay, let's do this, and then I can go about this.
There's only a part where he's like, after we had a night of passion, he's like, I don't get it twisted. What we did was for Queen and Country only.
Yeah, and that's so perfect, and I feel like that's how that scene with Solitaire should have been delivered, where she's upset and he's like, man, this was for information, and now it's not giving me anything, and Ben more upset, but it's just like a saltine cracker.
Yeah. So they follow that's what happens. They follow the scarecrows, which never becomes a thing again.
Yes. That he didn't know about.
Yeah, and then Baron Samedi is just like, hey, how you guys doing? While he's playing a flute, and then he's like, Bond's with the girl, and they're like, kill Bond, get the girl.
Yeah.
And that's when he sees the heroin, and then they go on the double-decker bus, and then they have a pretty average chase scene with the car, because there's no fucking music.
Yeah, there's a lack of music in almost every chase scene in this movie, and there's 20-30 minutes of chase scenes if you just splice them all together.
Probably more.
Yeah, it's a lot of engine noise, and the bus's engine does not sound good.
Yeah, no. So yeah, like the police are chasing him, and Bond's on this double-decker bus, and like. Well, it's simple shit. Like you could just have like he notices the cop cars. You hear the dun 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 dun, and then once he does like this whip around, and then you have like the and then he's driving off, and then like when he sees, and then you have like the dun 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 when he sees like the bridge is gonna be low.
Oh, there's this. So They use do they use a song there? I think something plays.
They use a sound effect. That's when the first time you hear music is when.
Yeah,
that
when
part
there's
happens.
it's actually like I think it's framed really well. They have like a whip cam following the cop car that ends on a sign that says low bridge, and he's in a double decker bus, and that math equation doesn't add up. Something's gonna go wrong.
Yeah,
and they lose the top of the bus.
Yeah, and then the cop car crashes into them, and and then they fall into the water, and then I think they just go back to New Orleans.
Yeah, they take the bus to the boat with Coral and get on that and
they
run
fuck.
Away. Yes, yeah. While Coral Jr.'s driving the boat, he's like, "I'll be downstairs for." They call it like lessons or something. There's like this weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
It kind of went over my
40-year-old
head.
man teaching a young girl how to have sex.
Yeah,
shit. Then they end up at the airport, and then they get in the car, and our boy taxi driver is back, and he's just like, "Hey, Jim."
Yeah, because it has a camera in the back seat where Bond is, and you can see the side. Like this guy has killer sideburns, and you can see. You're like, "Oh, that's the taxi driver from the beginning," and he was a bad guy, and then he locks the doors, and a divider screen goes up between them. It's really well done. I really liked this scene.
Yeah, and then what happens is they bring him to a plane where they're gonna go kill him. They're gonna throw him out of a plane, and Solitaire acts like she hates Bond just to
keep face.
Yeah, and she's just like, and like one of his other henchmen, who I don't remember the name of, is just like, it should have been this guy.
It should have.
He's just like, I'm gonna kill you, blah blah blah. And then Jane Seymour Solitaire is just like, I'm just mad that I won't be able to see it, and she goes to hit him, but he hits the guys and he runs off, almost gets hit by a fire truck.
Yeah,
and then he gets into a plane where we meet Mrs. Bell.
Yes,
she's like, you're not him. Where's
my teacher?
Yeah, he's supposed to be giving me lessons.
My flight instructor.
Yeah, and he's like, actually, I'm gonna be the one giving you lessons today. And she's like, what's on the thing today? He's like, oh, let's just wing it.
Yeah.
And he's just flying. He's just like taking this plane and driving it around the airstrip, and traumatizing this poor old traumatizing Elton John. And
dodging cars. It's like a car chase, but instead of the bus, he's in a plane.
A plane, yeah. And
doesn't leave the ground, but
it doesn't, because they didn't have the budget for that one.
And they ended up not having wings.
This felt like a low budget Bond movie.
Yeah, I could see. I mean,
it felt like it
in
had
the boat scene. There's a really big explosion.
I mean, yeah, but you know what I mean. Like it looks like a low budget.
They also didn't have any MI6 stuff.
Yeah,
they had somebody's house.
Yeah, and so like, I love everything with Mrs. Bell. Mrs. Bell is fantastic.
Yeah.
And then when he crashes the wings, like he breaks the wings, and then the car pulls up, the plane pulls up, and fucking. The
actual flight instructor.
He's like, all right, I gotta give a lesson. He looks over there, and then it cuts back into Bond in the cockpit, and he's just like, so same time tomorrow, Mrs. Bell?
Yeah. And then it cuts to Felix on the phone with the flight instructor saying,
yeah.
He's like, I know it's expensive to put wings back on.
Yeah.
It's an expensive thing to do, but
yeah. And I think it's just sad just because like, though, if Connery was doing it, it would have been like a much better. It would have been much more. Like, I feel like more is too dry of like a Bond.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, with Connery, it would have been. He would have had like the thing where he's like looking at the manual of the thing. He would have looked away. Like,
yeah.
same time tomorrow, Mrs. Bell?
Yeah.
And then he would have been like, yeah.
Yeah.
With this one, they just hard cuts a close-up of Roger Moore looking at her, same time. It's just like, yeah, fuck off.
Yeah, I don't. A lot of his delivery is just so dry.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know. It makes me sad.
There's a weird thing that Bond fans talk about, where they say a lot of times a Bond actor doesn't come into being truly Bond until their third movie, which I think is kind of stupid. Just because, like, if you're not good on your first Bond movie, I hate when people like look at that like franchises like that where it's just like, no, they all have to be good, or they have to be consistently good. Yeah, or they're not good. And like Roger Moore, like he gets better by Spy Who Loved Me, but then he gets worse after it.
So he had a good one.
Yeah, he has a good performance.
Like,
but
Dr. No was good.
Yeah.
Dr. No is like my second favorite Bond movie.
Yeah. Connery was great from the get-go. Lazenby was great from the get-go.
Yeah, he had one movie and he killed it.
Yeah.
It's my favorite movie.
You're like, he's my favorite Bond. Is he?
I think so.
He's your favorite Bond?
Yeah.
Like, not a movie, this Bond.
I think so.
You like Lazenby more than Connery.
Yeah. The more I've been thinking about it. And I think...
More than Craig.
I don't know about... Oh, I forgot about Craig. I might like him more than Craig, though. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Because at this point, I don't remember the Craig movies besides No Time to Die. We gotta... Once we get to those, I'll have my solid statement, but...
Yeah. Anyway, Felix is getting yelled at. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna go back to the Fleet of Soul." Yeah. Smokey's watching out. They do the same New Orleans funeral march with Smokey, and then Bond and Felix go into the bar, and he orders a bourbon. There's a soul singer doing a fantastic rendition of "Live and Let Die."
It's so good, and that's like I love. First off, this is I've already said it, but this is the best Bond song possibly
ever
for the rest of them. It's so good. It's a good song on its own. And it's attached to Bond.
Yeah, and Paul McCartney's one of the best soul writers ever.
Yeah, and then they I really like when they take the song and use it throughout. Like there's a couple. They use it's "Live and Let Die" as the song they use for the bridge scene.
Yeah,
because there was it was like cues for somebody speaking with the beat in the background, and I was like, oh, that's what I like. It's like they actually used music right.
Yeah.
And this soul singer kills it with the song. And I like when they reuse it, like Under the Mango Tree.
Yeah. Oh, that was the best when an automatic Secret Service, when he sits at his desk and he pulls out the knife underneath the mango. Oh, God!
I like when they use what they got.
Yeah, and then Bond is watching. First he doesn't want to go by the booth because he had a what does he say?
A turnaround or something in it.
Yeah,
something silly.
Yeah, something lame. And then he goes into the middle, and then the floor. He just goes into the floor anyway.
Yeah, and
that's where he sees Mr. Big again. And Mr. Big is just like, you're a piece of shit. I hate you.
Yeah. Why you take my girl?
No, he didn't. No, this is Mr. Big.
Oh,
this is the reveal scene. Yes. Mr. Big is sitting there, and he's just like, Kananga's a very powerful man. I'm a very powerful man. You're becoming a nuisance. We have one question. Did you mess with that? And Bond's like, oh, that's not a question. He's like, I don't care. Did you mess with that? And he's like, I'll talk to Kananga. And he's like, no, you're telling me. Yeah. And he's like, I don't speak to lackeys. I'll say it to Kamanga's face. And he's like, fine. And he grabs his nose and rips it off.
Yeah, and it's so sick.
And he starts ripping out his face, and it is Kananga, which is so good because so good an actor Yaphet Kotto is. Because even when he's Mr. Big, it is a completely different inflection and different like he's using different like slang, and he's a completely different guy.
So just to even say more, I didn't realize that he was Mr. Big the whole time. I thought that it was like he was just pretending to be Mr. Big there or something, which I thought was weird. But now that we have it playing in the background to refresh us, I saw it was him again with the same prosthetics on. I was like, oh, this is so much better. I was like, I love that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's genuine that I would feel that way, just because I saw this when I was 8, so I definitely didn't know it was the same guy.
Yeah.
But
dude, I love it.
I would love to have known what I would feel in like 1973 watching this. But
dude, I was blown when he ripped his face off. I was like, oh, I was like, this. It looks so good because he's sweating through the prosthetics and stuff. Like he's clearly annoyed and actually showing emotion, and then he rips his fucking face off.
Yeah. I think
he calmly is like wiping it off, explaining what's going on to him. It's just so good.
I think so far. No, we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
So also Bond's is chained or like he's like locked into the chair.
Yeah.
He's looking menacing and being fucking badass as usual. His fucking fly ass red coat.
Yep.
And they're like, all right. He's like, no. And so he's like, did you mess with that? Did you mess with that?
Yeah.
And then he takes it off and becomes Kanengi's in. Did you touch her?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you're so fucking good.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, fine. You don't want to, he's like, okay, a gentleman. I see that.
Yeah.
And I know that Solitaire would be a
yeah.
lady.
Also won't.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try this out. And he grabs Bond's watch, and there's actually a good moment from Moore where he's like struggling with the claw. He's like, oh, what's your other claw?
Yeah.
And then he uses his hand, takes out the watch. I'm like, all right, you get one. And he gives it to Kananga, and Kananga is like, all right, so your watch, Mr. Bond's watch, his number is like his register number serial number is this like 36 something.
Yeah.
He's like, is that correct? And Solitaire is like, okay. And he's like, Teehee, for every answer that Mr. Bond gets wrong, I mean, that
Solitaire gets wrong.
Every answer that's wrong, you're going to cut off a finger. And once you get rid of that, you're going to go to more sensitive areas. Just cut off his dick.
Yep. Really, letting us know in case it one passes.
Yeah. And she gets it wrong immediately, but he, for some reason, doesn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah,
which makes him really complex.
Yeah, which I was like, oh, I kind of like that. Again, there's so many times where it's like, just shoot Bond.
I think this is what it is. I think he has a respect for Bond.
Yeah.
Because Bond understands what his plans are, and I think he also doesn't want to hurt Solitaire.
Yeah.
Like that.
Because it might be his daughter.
Or because he's in love with her. Yeah. I like that wrinkle of it. And I also, we forgot to mention that in between, we revealed that his plan is that he's going to ship out 2 tons of heroin for free. And then get more and more people hooked on heroin and then start charging after. Yeah,
his goal is to flood the market so that the mob doesn't have money in it anymore. Because that's what he's like, you're going to, that's the mob sells heroin. He's like, you're going to flood their market. And he's like, and then they'll be gone, and then I will have the heroin.
Yeah, and then I will make it more expensive, and I will become a fucking bajillionaire.
Yeah. He's like,
because everyone would be
CIA.
addicted to it. Yeah, he's the CIA.
I was gonna save it for later, but I was like, there's no way the CIA would be blowing up these heroin fields.
Yeah,
they'd be pocketing it to distribute.
That's why the British service is doing it.
Yeah.
That's why Felix brought him out here. He's like, this guy's muscling into my fucking territory right now, dude. But yeah, we have this moment. So Teehee's looking at Kananga, and he's just like, "Is it right or is it wrong?" He's just like, "Let Mr. Bond go." Blah blah blah, and then Bond's like talking. He's like, "Oh, see, blah 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 blah," and then Teehee just sits him in the back, and then we get Whisper looking like a grape.
He looks like a strawberry.
He looks like a strawberry.
He's in giant red pants and a tight red shirt with like a black belt on, and he's looking fly.
He is looking fly. He ain't looking as fly as Teehee though.
Yeah.
Teehee looks like a fucking
Teehee has a sick this shot is set up like you know Bond's gonna get knocked out. And it's set up perfectly, and then Teehee just hits him in the shoulder blade or something. It was framed so perfectly for it to look real, and then it just looks dumb.
Yeah,
but I'm glad they knocked him out. And then
if it was Lazenby, they would have really knocked him out.
Yeah, yeah,
because you wouldn't have known better.
And Whisper carries him off like he's a little baby.
Yeah,
and then we get a sick scene with Solitaire. It's super emotional.
This is the highlight of the film.
Oh, it's so good.
Where Solitaire, she's like, you have to trust me. It's the cards, and he just walks up to her. He's like, I would have we want to take it from you, blah blah blah. And then he hits her out of emotion. He's just like,
I gave you every out.
He's like, I knew you were. I gave you everything. It was a 50-50 shot, and you still fucked it up.
Yeah,
you weren't even close. And then when he hits her, he's just like,
we'll deal with this later.
I knew one day I was the one to take it.
Yeah,
and he screams like, you do that.
Yeah,
and it's just like this man is like broken. And she's broken, and then Baron Samedi comes in and he takes out like a card, and he's like, "Well, the only way to fix this is death." And he goes, "Ah!"
Yeah,
that's fantastic because I love Baron Samedi.
Yeah, and then he burns
the death card. No, he burns the Queen of the Cards card, whatever the fuck.
The cup of whatever.
Queen of Cups.
Yeah, and then I think he burns death. There's 3 cards that are burned because Bond finds
Moon, Cups, and Death.
Yes. And then he goes,
she's going to die tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, why did he do Connery?
Oh, no!
Oh,
we have to save her.
Yeah, no, yeah. He's like, no, I guess she's going to die. Well, that just ruffles my feathers.
Then, does it just cut to them on the boat going to save her?
Yes.
There might be like a scene with him.
Nope.
Okay.
Teehee whispers.
Oh, dude, I forgot about all of this.
They go to the crocodile thing, and Teehee starts talking about crocodiles and how fucking sick and vicious they are, and how they ate off his arm.
Yeah.
Which is fucking. I love Teehee, dude. Teehee's the man. And
good character depth.
And he's throwing meat around, feeding the crocs. Or
as they're slowly walking on a bridge,
right?
I think there's both, because he talks about the difference between them.
Yeah.
Because it shows the one who ate him was a crocodile, because he was like, "That's Albert. Me and Albert were friends, but he ate my arm."
Yeah.
And there's as they're throwing the food, they're slowly walking across a dock, and Bond doesn't realize they're walking to an island.
Mm-hmm. And they leave him on the island with meat around him.
Yes, the dock retracts.
One thing I'll give Roger Moore is that he had a nice little character moment or a character decision that he did with Bond's outfit, and that he insisted on wearing alligator shoes.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Nice touch,
especially because his escape, he runs across the backs of alligators.
Yeah,
4 of them line up. Like it was in the heart of the cards.
Yeah, what was he? So when he's like, I remember while watching, I made a joke where I was like, well, if Connery was there, he would have wore the alligator boots and fucked the alligator's wife.
Yeah, just to get the alligator more ready for his role.
Yeah, he's like, you're the man now, dog. Anyway, when he's like pulling away, Bond's just like, do you have any suggestions on how to get out of here? He's like, yeah, you should
you can put a pencil behind
his eye. And he's like, what's the other option? He's like, you put your hand in their mouth and rip out their teeth.
Yeah, and just take it tooth by tooth for all 140 alligators that are in there.
Yeah. And it's great. And then Bond, there's actually tension there. Has more tension than the fucking snake scene, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. This isn't, I don't think it's the worst thing ever. It's really clearly a stunt double. Like it every time the alligator's in here, it cuts to a wide of feet with alligators coming up next to him, and then just like quick cuts of Roger Moore looking around.
Yeah,
but it's still good.
Yeah, and then he runs across on the alligators' heads. He blows up the heroin house that they have.
Yeah, they have like a processing facility.
Yep, and then they go into a boat chase.
Yes,
and then
it's pretty long.
It's a very long one. It's a very good one too.
Yeah.
But so one of his henchmen is in a car. He goes to see Bond so he can shoot him on the way there.
Yeah.
And then we're introduced to the man himself.
Yeah.
Sheriff J.W. Pepper, one of the most divisive characters in the Bond series, and the best.
Yeah, I'm not going to count him as a sidekick, but I didn't mind him. I thought he was pretty good.
I love him.
Yeah.
I love every second. His stupid fucking spitting tobacco, his tongue hanging out every 2 seconds.
Yeah, he's like a little lizard and sticking his tongue out.
What are you, some kind of doomsday machine, boy?
Yeah, we get a lot of boys.
Yeah. Call Bill Bob.
It's really good. It's
They crash a boat into his cop car.
Yeah, it's a
and
new
he
boat
commandeers
car.
the thing, and he gets mad at his chicken coop on the road. Get the chicken coop off the road.
Get your driver's license.
Yeah, Bond is having a great chase. He's going on land. He disrupts our wedding. Well, he doesn't disrupt our wedding. Someone else disrupts our wedding.
Yeah, that I was a little underwhelmed with the wedding thing, but there's a couple times where they skip the boats from one side of the river to the other, like over a peninsula land, and it looks really. I loved it the first time, but they like crash on land, and it just goes really far in and ends up in a swimming pool. But the second time I was like, why is the wedding there? And then the henchman hit the wedding cake, and I was like, that was all right.
Yeah. There's also a bit where Sheriff J.W. Pepper is gonna he pulls over fucking Caramanga's henchman, and I mean, like, oh no, it's not gonna go down that road, is it?
Yeah.
And then it kind of does, and then the boat disrupts it anyway. Bond disrupts it,
thankfully.
And there's another thing where Billy Bob, who is Sheriff J.W. Pepper's brother-in-law, has the fastest boat in Louisiana, and then Caramanga's henchman knocks him out and takes the boat, which he should have shot him.
Yeah, there are a couple scenes where there's little changes that obviously would have been a higher rating. I wish he said motherfucker instead of this mother.
Yeah.
And I really wish he killed that cop on the dock to get into the fastest boat on the river.
Yeah.
Because I think it would paint that henchman as more brutal. Because
it
he goes
also
to
would have shown how powerful that they are. They have no problem killing cops.
Yeah, because he goes to pull his gun on the sheriff when he first pulls him over, but the sheriff's like, "Oh no, I already got my gun out. I win."
I'm a bully, and everything with J.W. Pepper's fantastic. But they have the chase, and then Bond ends up killing Caramanga's guy on the boat. He blows him up because he throws gasoline on him, which is he throws gasoline in the guy's eyes, and the guy isn't screaming for that guy would be fucking in so much pain.
Oh yeah, I would at least roll on the ground or something, I'd assume.
Yeah. Also, there's a great bit that I forgot to talk about where they put up a blockade with boats, and then Bond just drives right through it.
Yeah, and it's perfect too because it's not I was expecting it to be set up they're building it for a little while, and then it's this grand explosion thing of them going through. But just while they're putting it together, you just see the speedboat just shoot straight through it. Yeah. It doesn't even slow down.
Yeah.
And I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, and Sheriff J.W. Pepper's like, "Well, how did that happen? What's going on here? Oh, jeez.
And where are we going to cut him off next?"
Yeah. Well, go call Billy Bob.
Yeah.
And
there's sometimes where I'm glad I had you to decipher his sentences.
Yeah, I think it's because I speak J.W. Pepper because I've watched this so many times as a little kid. Because as a little kid, this is one of my favorite ones to watch. As you could tell, Solitaire's hot as hell, and it's got J.W. Pepper in it.
Yeah,
and it's got Paul McCartney. That is this is the perfect movie for a kid to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It also had alligators in it. It was fucking sick. Yeah, so I speak fluent J.W. Pepper. After they blow up the Caramanga's henchmen and whatnot, Bond pulls up and Felix is waiting for him, being like, "You son of a bitch! I fucking hate you so much."
Yeah, he goes, "You know how much this costs to fix everything you break all the time?"
Yeah, you cause a big crash in New York. You fucking
those are cops that you're busting their blockades.
Yeah, you fucked up an entire airstrip.
Yeah,
like what are you doing?
Yeah.
Who are you?
This isn't how we act.
You left me at the bar by myself with the bill. You fucking
you didn't even touch your bourbon.
Yeah. It's I assumed you went to go bang the fucking soul singer, but she was there still, so it doesn't even matter.
Oh, in that scene too with the soul singer, there's a nice part where Felix is like, "Where's Bond?" And the guy's like, "Shh." You're yelling and she's singing. You need to quiet down. And he's like, "Oh, I don't know where he went."
Yeah. And then there's like and then Sheriff J.W. Pepper comes up and he's like, "What are you, some kind of doomsday machine, boy?"
Yeah.
And he's gonna arrest him, but he can't get his cuffs together because he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And also, actually, hold up, this is a great bit. So after he heals the chicken coop guy, they get in a car because the chicken coop guy is getting in the way and he can't get around him and slow him down. Immediately, the cops get in a car accident and they block the road. And you get the chicken coop guy honking the horn, and be like,
yeah, a 4-car pileup.
Yeah.
Flipped over cop cars.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Hey, JW, listen, this guy, this is an Englishman. He's a British man. You know, an Englishman, British person.
Secret spy.
He's working with our boys, and he's a secret agent. Secret agent on whose side?
Yeah. And then he's gone.
Yeah. Do you wish there was more JW Pepper?
I think it was the perfect amount.
You don't want there to be more?
I think it probably would have taken away more later on. Like,
you don't think he should have been the one to stop Kananga?
That would have been something. I meant, no, he's the one who cuts them out of the...
He kills Whispers.
Yeah, he shows up with a knife to shimmy them out of the lift that they're being dumped in the sharks.
Anyway, they go to the island. They go to the island. Day for night bullshit happens, and they blow up the heroin. But while it's happening, they're sacrificing.
Doing a ritual.
Yeah, they're sacrificing Solitaire. But before the thing can bite her and Bond can shoot the guy with the snake, Baron Samedi comes out. He shoots Baron Samedi in the head, and it's like glass. And he looks up.
It's really weird. Yeah, because he looks up. It's like his head explodes like it's a pot. But the eyes are real, and the eyes like roll back in them, and then Bond's like, and shoots it more,
and he just explodes.
Yeah,
and then he cuts her free and shoots the guy with the snake, and then they fight Baron Samedi with a machete because he shows up again, and then he throws him in a coffin full of snakes, and he dies.
Yeah, and there's this really cool, like it shows. So they carry out like during the ritual, they carry out this coffin. It's full of all these snakes. And I don't know, it was just the guy who's like leading the ritual.
Yeah.
Picks up the snake and is like dancing around with it. And they've established that there is this coffin full of snakes. And then right before the fight scene, they show it again, just like random insert shot. I was like, well, I bet somebody falls in that. I was like, I knew it was there. Why'd you have to show me it again?
Yeah. After that, after Baron Sanity dies, I think they go into a building. I think.
Yeah, so they go.
Oh no! Yeah, so they hit the gravestone so they can go into the underground lair because that's how they give Baron Sanity's theatrics.
Mm-hmm.
And they're immediately like,
"Doesn't the guy yell problem?"
Yeah,
problem.
There's a man in a turtleneck, and he's like 60 years old.
He's beating up all our red shirts.
Yeah, and then they end up going and they find they blow up like I said, they blow up the heroin, so they're trying to escape. They're going through the caverns, and they go and they see Kananga, and he's
they open a door and it goes to his underground lair.
And he's like, "Even Mr. Bond, Whispers, get Bond a drink." And everyone's like, "You're not mad?" He's like, "That was literally like you blew up one field. Like that is a minor inconvenience."
He says it's a formidable plant.
Yeah,
like, this is fine.
Yeah, he's like, "We can make more."
Yeah, it's a plant. It grows.
Yeah,
and now you're trapped in here.
Yeah, like an idiot. Also, I gotta say, Bond wearing bell bottoms here, phenomenal.
Yeah,
very spy.
Yeah, very. They're tactical bell bottoms.
Tactical bell bottoms with his turtleneck sweater.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's the spy, the setup.
Yeah. Question: while we're here, do you think that they blew their load too early? No pun intended. On Solitaire.
I don't know.
Like, cause she tells the future like once, and then Bond fucks her, and then
she tells it. So she tells when he's flying over. We have that awesome transition scene where it's showing the tarot cards as time's passing, and then she's like, he has a gun, and then again he's like, he's coming by boat to the island, and he's gonna fall in love with you.
Yeah,
and then he ruins your life. you thinking like one or two more, or?
I think they should have banged probably after the double-decker bus stuff, maybe, and you could have played with her telling Bond what's happening in the future.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
And then after
because she could still want to leave.
Yeah, and
does she want to leave because she doesn't have the power anymore?
Yeah.
Like, what's her motive for wanting to run away? It's that, right?
Yeah, because Kananga would kill her.
Yeah.
And they do I think like what they could have done is like they do a thing where she, like I said, he's like, listen, you're coming with me. I'm gonna get you off this island so you don't have to be a servant to anybody anymore. Yeah. You know, like a very Connery thing.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that would have been fine. And then she falls in love with him.
Yeah, and you can even do a thing where he's like, where are they coming from? She's like, they're coming from this place. They're coming from, and then you get like a helicopter thing going on. You know.
Oh, that would have been cool to call the helicopter or something.
Yeah, to make it more interesting. And then instead of having the helicopter show up at the heroin thing, just establish that he sees the heroin, and then have like the action scene happen after. Yeah, and just make the double decker bus thing create more crazy. And then they fuck on Felix on Coral Jr.'s boat. Yeah, and he does the thing where they go under instead of, and then he's like, you do know the cards say we're going to be lovers. He's like, we're not going to be lovers. And he's like, pull it out. Yeah. And then they have sex on the boat. And then that's when he gets all upset. And so so you had more time with the whole...
Yeah, with the actual, like... Yeah, I'm fine with that. I think that would have been a little better.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the fucking what's going on with the movie.
Yeah, the silly... inflation gun.
Yeah, he shoots. Kananga has like an inflation gun. He shoots the.
Well, it's Bond's gun.
Yeah, when did he get that?
Why? Yeah, it must have been.
He never used it either.
What was he gonna use it for?
I don't know.
Make him into a balloon guy so he pops. Huh.
He shot the couch and it explodes and Whispers looks like a goofball, which I love. I love seeing my man Whispers. Yeah. And then
it's wonderful.
They put Bond onto a thing like
a lift,
and they tie him up, and then Kananga starts cutting his arms, and he's just like, "Why don't you hit a more vital vein?" We're also showing a monorail again.
Yeah, the monorail, dude. They
love their monorails.
They love them, dude. I'm just glad it's a different one. It's not the same model that
by 1970 like
jump on.
You Only Live Twice made a lot of money, so we're supposed to do that.
It must have been the monorail.
Yeah. Had probably nothing to do with that Sean Connery guy, but
I really like when he starts cutting Bond's arm. It like looks decent. They probably do like the blood's on the tip of the fake blade, so it looks like he's pulling and actually cutting him, because they haven't really shown a lot of blood in the series overall. And
they showed a ton in Dr. No.
Hey, what part? I'm trying to picture it.
Like during when he would kill people. And then there was also the scene at the end when Bonds was covered in blood because he's been in a radiator the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
There was also a lot of blood.
He looked, damn.
There was also a lot of blood in From Russia with Love.
Yeah, remember when Bond got dirty? Or like sweat?
You mean like the last film before this even? Like even Diamonds Are Forever did that.
I hate this so much.
Yeah, and then so basically they're gonna feed Bond to sharks, and then Bond he uses his electronic his magnetic watch to get the bullet that can inflate.
Then he eats it.
He puts it in his mouth, and then he uses a razor on it, like a little mini saw.
Yeah, the like bezel of the watch starts spinning like a little blade, and he cuts the rope that he's tied up with.
Yeah.
Which wasn't shown to us earlier, just completely random.
And then they get off. He puts Whisper in a missile thing.
Yeah.
And some say Whisper is still in there to this day.
It's an airtight little thing that they put the heroin in to ship it, so it's not the water doesn't affect it.
Yeah. And then Kananga and him have a little fight. They throw each other into the water. He puts it in Kananga's mouth. We see some vor.
It's really. It looks terrible. Honestly, it like ruined the end of the movie. I'm like, just have the sharks eat him. He's in shark-infested waters. Why are we using this dumb inflation gun thing that was just brought into the movie? Never explained, and it's just done. It looks so bad, too. I'm closing my eyes, and I can still picture it.
Yeah, and then he pops like a balloon.
Yeah, and it's super sped up, him flying up to the top and pops.
Yeah, and then they get on a train, and Felix is like, what are you guys going to do on a train for 16 hours? And he's like, Solitaire, say goodbye to Felix. And then she doesn't even say goodbye to him.
Yeah.
Rude. And then while they're talking about they're playing Solitaire, I think. No, they're playing Gin.
They're playing Gin, yeah.
Yeah. And then Solitaire beats him. He's like, well, I can think of something better to do. And he's like, let's fuck. And then he has to go to the bathroom to get Viagra and get hard because he's almost 50 years old. And then Teehee shows up and turns off all the lights. And
he is in a U.S. postal bag, and you just see his claw pop through the bag and slowly cut down it.
Yeah.
And then he cuts the power.
And he ends up he's gonna like cut her fingers off, and then Bond sees him. He puts the bed up, so she's like pressed against the wall.
Yeah, she's trapped.
Yeah, and then him and Bond, then they're like, dude, that scene in For Martial Love is so good. Yeah. Let's try that again.
Let's do the Grant fight again.
And it isn't as good, but it's fine because he's great, and they do this stupid thing, in my opinion, where Teehee like presses Bond against like the window, and he's like hey, pressing his like metal thing to his throat, and Bond's like moving while he's doing it, and Teehee's just not minding his surroundings.
Yeah,
and Bond takes like a clipper.
Yeah, it's like the like heavy duty nail clippers that he uses to cut the like cables that are fully exposed, and
yeah, well, because he grabs Teehee's jacket, rips it off. Rips off the arm, like the jacket arm and
the
stuff.
sleeve.
And then he cuts the cables so his arm becomes like
stuck closed.
Yeah. And then he's stuck to like the window, and Bond flips him out of the window, and he becomes attached, so he just dies.
Yeah. Yeah, but his arm's still hanging there.
Yeah.
Which there's like 15 or 20 seconds of him like trying to get his arm off the window.
It should be instantaneous.
Yeah. I was like, can you not just like take the fake arm off? Like, it's probably just like a couple leather straps around your torso that hold it on.
Yeah.
And then it's proven that that's it when he flips out of the window and it comes right off.
Well, I think that the shot of like him was staring at Teehee's back, like waiting to like flip him out, goes on for way too long, but like whatever.
Yeah, dude,
that's
way too long.
That's like semantics though. That's me being so like picky about shit.
No, you're fine. That's a good thing to be picky about.
And then he lets Solitaire down. She's like, that wasn't very funny. And she's like, what were you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just being disarming. And he throws up the arm and rolls up the window, and then they have sex. And Baron Samedi's on the front of the train laughing.
Yeah.
As we hear the sweet, sweet sounds of Paul McCartney and Wings, baby.
Yeah. Ah, it's so good.
And that's Live and Let Die.
Yeah. Pretty good.
That's good. It's a solid. It's a solid
middle.
3.5, maybe 4.
Yeah, I might give it a 4. It's just Roger Moore is so bad.
It's a 3.5.
Yeah, I'll probably do 3.5. It's gonna fall in the upper middle of my ranks for sure so far.
Do we agree that this is the best Guy Hamilton though? So Guy Hamilton has directed so far Goldfinger and Diamonds Are Forever and Live and Let Die.
Yeah, I think I really like Goldfinger, but I think this is better than Goldfinger.
I think it's weird that you say that, because every time when we watched Goldfinger, and if you listen to the episode, you did not like Goldfinger that much.
I'm surprised, because I like him as a villain. I like Pussy Galore, besides the...
But we had the whole rant
rape.
about how much we hated that she just shows up and then gets raped, and that's her storyline.
Yeah.
That could have been Tilly.
Yeah, and that's that's my major problem with that one. And like this one, my major problem with it is Roger Moore.
Yeah.
Because, like, I liked the Fort Knox stuff. Like, Odd Job's fine. And I liked Goldfinger as, like, the first not Blofeld. Like, doing his own, I want to rule the world.
Yeah. I liked how this one was a very small-time plan.
Yeah, like, this is more based in... like, this is what I would want more of. Rather than, like, I'm gonna rule the planet.
I mean, I liked Blofeld's idea of manufacturing a pandemic.
Yeah, and that's like stuff like that I'm okay with, like making a satellite in the sky that
I'm not cool with.
Yeah, like that is too far. Or like even like the pandemic stuff, like having the sleeper agent stuff, like that's riding the line for me. I'm like, that's kind of too outlandish.
I liked Largo's plan, the stealing of the nuclear weapons, holding them for ransom. I loved Spectre, like the Rough Rush with Love shit, where it was just like, we just want to get a fucking device.
And that's like, I'm fine with that, even though it's like part of a greater plan, like that just being its own storyline. I'm like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And like, I think this was better than Goldfinger's, because Goldfinger's is pretty like Fort Knox. It's like going into everybody loving the mythology behind Fort Knox and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, so let's get down to the nitty gritty,
the business
of Bond. So
I just want to see quickly where okay, yeah.
So let's rank our Bonds now. Not the films, but our Bonds.
Yeah.
So now I'm Connery, Lazenby, Moore.
I'm Lazenby, Connery, Moore. So Moore is
at the bottom.
Yeah, and arguably the worst.
It's not even an argument, and I can't wait the fact that we're going to be with him for the next 7 weeks.
Mm. Yeah, it's going to be a lot.
Yep, and then so let's talk about do our
you
rating.
Do the star stuff.
Yeah.
So intro's the first. Whoo.
All right, that's the song, and are we doing? We always I ask this every time.
Yeah, we do it different every time too. But I think we do
pre-title sequence is a 3.
Yeah, I'd probably do 3 also. I don't know. I might do 2.5 because I
liked the funeral.
It was boring. Oh no, you're right. Yeah.
And I liked when he does that thing and he blows the guy's eardrum out.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3. That's a good point.
The song?
The song is a 5, obviously.
Yeah, 5.
And
best.
even the intro is probably like a 4 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just not the intro, the like stylistic title sequence.
Yeah.
I really like his barrel scene's terrible.
Yeah.
But the song's so good. The song, I'm probably gonna give it like a 4. I want to give it like a 4.5 though.
I'll give it a 5 because of the song.
I just think
you're asking a Beatles fanboy to rank this. Dude.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give it a 5
because if we're just doing like title card and song, it's 5. But I do think that the beginning part kind of takes it back because I
think we're gonna separate them. I think we have to separate them from now on.
Just because you want to give it a 5 is like Beatles needs.
It also
a 5.
makes more sense because like Thunderball's opening sequence is like the pre-title sequence moment is better than the song.
Yeah, and there's like all the ones that are. I'm trying. What was the first one to do the separate mission with Connery? Is it the
Goldfinger?
Okay, I loved that. Like that, I was like, oh, this is cool. This is quite the idea.
I think that might be the best pre-title sequence that we've had.
Yeah, it's way better than Grant's pre-title sequence, even though that one's like all right.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I think that the best ones we've had for pre-title sequences are probably Goldfinger and On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Yeah,
because On Her Majesty's Secret Service is the one where he's on the beach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one's pretty good too. See, and there's like, and once this is over, we'll have to do like
a ranking.
Yeah, we'll just like rip the DVDs and just have like a 10-minute sequence of all the beginning sequences, so we can actually like watch them back to back to be like, okay, this one is superior.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the intro sequence of this is like a 3 because the coffin scene is cool. Like I didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, look at that. And the music was good. And then the title card and the song is 5.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Absolutely. And then what's next?
Next, I think, is Bond, which, like, maybe
Let's save that for later.
Okay.
That's because that's one we have to like dwell on. We have to talk about that one.
So Bond Girl, which
4.5.
yeah, easily. This is definitely top tier. Definitely top 3.
Yeah. So on a scale of Kisisuki to Tracy, this falls more on the Domino.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's like upper tier.
Oh yeah.
You know,
this is between A and S.
Yeah, she's behind. So she's in front of Pussy Galore, Honey Rider, and Tatiana Romanova. But I can't confidently say she's ahead of Domino.
Yeah, I think almost
Domino,
put them on the same one.
I think Domino is slightly better.
Mm. Yeah, I could see that. I think they both have their pros.
I think it's just because of Domino's emotional connection with their brother and the fact that she killed the villain, and then
that's true.
The beautiful scene on the beach.
Yeah.
Which, outside of Honor Majesty's Secret Service, is the best directed moment in the series so far.
Yeah, that is real good. But is that more of a Bond moment, or is it more of a her moment?
It's a both of them moment because they're relating to each other.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Yeah,
I like it. The after Bond Girl, it's Felix, which give him second place.
5 stars.
I'm gonna give him I don't know. I'm really excited to see him again because maybe he'll be my favorite.
We don't see him again until the Dalton era.
Really?
Felix never shows up again in the Roger Moore era, and he shows up in both Dalton films, and one of them is not him. So the first time Felix comes back, it's not him, and then the second time Felix comes back, it's a Felix-centered movie.
Okay.
Where the plot revolves around Felix. He comes back because they want the audience to have a real connection with Felix.
That's cool. I'm excited for that. So I'd probably give him 4.5.
I'll give him 5. I think he's the best.
He needs those sunglasses.
He's the best since Lord.
Yeah, but I think Lord's better.
Of course.
Yeah.
Lord, because Lord's cool.
Yeah, and that's
that's not cool. Cool.
It's just so. Yeah, this is. I'll give him 4.5.
You know what? Yeah, you swayed me.
Yeah,
4.5.
I just don't want them to be on the same level. Is what it boils down to.
I think that Lord is the best of the cool, sexy. I'm Bond's equal.
Yeah,
and
this is more. It's almost like a different type of Felix.
Yeah, this is the best of the bureaucratic, old, grumpy men. Felix.
Yeah. This blows the other guy out of the water.
Blows both of them out of the water.
Yeah,
it blows Goldfinger and Diamonds Are Forever.
Goldfingers is so bad.
I think Diamonds is worse, but
you think so?
Yeah.
I just the age thing troubles me. MI6 was crappy this time. No Q. Yeah,
1 star.
Definitely 1 star. And I think I'm worried about it because I think M's relationship with this Bond is very weird because they look so close in age, and I don't know. It takes away I have the idea that Bond's this little guy who doesn't want to listen to respects M, but is I have to do what I have to do. I'm not going to follow the rules like you.
Well, yeah, it's because Bond has the mentality of an actual employee who's and their manager, where the manager's why aren't you doing it like this? It's because it can't be done that way.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's or hey, that lady saved me. We have to go save her, and he's no, and he's okay, I'm gonna go do it.
I'm gonna go do it with the mafia.
Yeah. Okay, I switched teams.
Yeah, and then this one, they're just jovial fucking old men being jolly good, Mr. Bond.
Yeah.
Oh, jolly good, M.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your coffee machine.
Yeah. What is this? The 1980s?
Yeah, and then Moneypenny's is
They have no chemistry.
Yeah,
at all. They feel like brother and sister.
Yeah, she has more chemistry with the secret agent that's running in the closet than she does with Bond.
Yeah. This is a hard 1 star. This is also Roger Moore will have 2 M's because unfortunately Bernard Lee will die, but at the end of the 70s.
Poor guy. I'll miss him. The next one is Villain, which
5.
Yeah, this is way better than Goldfinger, which is what I would compare it to as a not Blofeld enemy.
Yeah, no, a non-Spectre.
Yeah. I should just say non-Spectre. And he's so good. I'm
on
going
a scale
too.
of Telly Savalas Blofeld and Charles Gray Blofeld.
Yeah. He's definitely he's not the best villain we've seen, but I would give him second best.
Yeah. So he's more on the Donald Pleasance Blofeld.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I think I'll agree. He's like, other than Telly Savalas' Blofeld, he's the best villain.
Yeah. He's just such a good actor.
Unless you count Grant, then Grant.
Yeah, I think his Blofeld might be better than Grant, but not by a lot.
Oh no, Blofeld is better than Grant.
Okay, good.
I'm saying Kananga is not as good as Grant.
I was like, we might have to fight quick, Mark.
Yeah, no. Telly Savalas' Blofeld is the best Bond villain until the 90s.
Yeah.
I think that Kananga is the best. It is one of the best performances by an actor in the entire series.
Especially with his parts with Solitaire too are amazing.
His like he gives like there's moments where he's acting with Roger Moore where you think, oh shit, Roger Moore's a great actor.
Yeah.
But it's actually like Roger Moore isn't saying anything, and Fiat Kodo is just fucking acting his ass off.
Yeah,
like the fucking.
He's literally ripping his face off.
Yeah, I think he passed away recently. Actually, I gotta look that up. Actually,
well, I can start the next one.
Yeah,
the next one's Henchman, which this is an easy 5 for me.
He died. He died in March.
Oh, poor guy. Oh wow, that recently.
Yeah.
That's sad.
You should watch this movie called Blue Collar that he's in. It's directed by the guy who wrote Taxi Driver.
Oh, cool.
And it's got Harvey Keitel, Richard Pryor, and him, and they're like these union workers who pull off a heist.
Cool. Logan Lucky.
But then everything goes to shit, and then they kill Yafia Kodo. And
why is he telling me this? He wants me to watch a movie and then tells me the ending.
That's not the ending. You'd never guess how it ends. It's great.
M. Night Shyamalan. Henchman.
5.
Yeah.
This is the best Henchman of the series.
Oh, so good. Like, yeah, this is the new high.
If Roger Moore has anything that is superior to the Connery and Lazenby era, it is Henchman.
Yeah.
Like, because he's got
good.
Jaws, and then he has Mayday and View to a Kill. Like, he has the Henchman.
I don't even know who Mayday is. I do know Jaws, though.
You know, it's Grace Jones.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a reason why when you play GoldenEye, all of the henchmen you can play from other movies are from Roger Moore movies other than Odd Job.
I was gonna say Odd Job's in there.
But you're not playing GoldenEye playing as Irma Bunt. You know what I'm saying?
They're all so good. I'm trying to think of.
So Teehee's fantastic.
Yeah.
Teehee's like Teehee. I think Teehee's the top tier.
I think
because the alligator crocodile monologue. Beautiful.
Yeah, that is really good. And then
unless we're counting Taxi Driver, the Taxi Driver is the best one.
Taxi Driver is really good.
Whispers.
Because I really like Whispers.
Should I open it?
In Barramont's. Should I open it?
What? Should I open it?
I'm gonna yell Whisper at you.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 5 easy.
Yeah, Baron Samedi is fantastic.
Yeah, and I love the like mysticism with it too.
Yeah, you can play as him in GoldenEye.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's actually a level in that game where I think you're finding the golden gun, and you fight Baron Samedi at the end, and
that's
like
pretty cool.
You don't know when he's around, but you hear the
Cool.
It's fantastic. But yeah, I love Whispers. Love the Taxi Driver. Love Teehee. Love that guy who Sheriff David Hipper almost fucking arrested. But I don't remember the name of. But it's whatever. He was nice. He was menacing.
It was good.
5 stars. This is gonna be our
new top.
A top for henchmen.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we count Grant.
Yeah, and Grant's. I wish these movies were more clear cut on who the actual villain is and who the henchman is.
Yeah,
because Grant really rides that line real close.
He does.
And then the next one's Story.
3.5.
Yeah, I do think the boat chase goes on a little long, but it's nice. Imagine if the cop wasn't there.
It would have
been terrible.
It would have felt like the car chase in Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah, and
no, it would have been the moon chase in Diamonds Are Forever.
Oh yeah, that movie is so bad. That moon chase is so. They go from the most ridiculous vehicle to the second one when he gets on the trike that has like giant inflatable wheels.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, it's terrible. I'm glad you forgot.
Yeah.
Besides that, I really like the fortune teller part. I like the whole villain's plan.
Yeah,
I'd probably go with 4.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first Bond movie that isn't defining action films. It's copying.
Yeah, you said that the other time too. I forget when you started saying that.
What I've been saying is this is like that's what the Moore era is like. Is famous for is like
copying what's popular at the time.
Yeah.
Instead of being a Bond movie.
Yeah, it's literally a blaxploitation film.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The first thing what came it was when he gets to the hotel and Baron Sandi's doing like a stage show. I was like, is this gonna be like blaxploitation? And Mark's like, yeah,
absolutely.
Buckle up.
Yeah,
and but it was a good one.
Yeah, which for someone who watches a lot of Pam Grier films, like I love blaxploitation movies, you know. So fuck it, I like it.
Yeah,
it's definitely post-chef cinema.
The next one's cinematography.
A solid 2.5.
Yeah, there's the only shot that I was really impressed with was the whip pan that went to the sign that says the low bridge.
Yeah,
everything else day for night.
It felt like low budget.
Yeah, and it was. The day for night I really didn't like because it was intercut with a set that had really good night's lighting. So it just made the day for night look even worse.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the stuff was just shot flat. It was boring.
Yeah, the lighting is very flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not,
Yeah.
I feel like we wouldn't be bitching about this if Honor Majesty's Secret Service didn't happen.
Because it's so good. They even sped stuff up in this one. They speed him up when he becomes a balloon.
Yeah, well,
I mean, they probably had to with that effect.
Because the effect looked like shit.
Yeah, it's like maybe just
they didn't even. I don't even know if they sped it up, but they like zoomed in to a point where I think because the effect probably looked so bad that they had to like crop it as much as humanly possible.
Yeah.
So, but it looks like
terrible.
shit right now. Like regardless, I don't know. It's rough.
It was real bad. Yeah, I'm going with like maybe a 2.5.
Yeah, same here. I agree.
Gadgets. I liked the
watch.
The watch was pretty cool. The hang glider was pretty lame. The inflatable gun is dumb.
Although I'll say this: the inflatable gun can be good if used right, and they use it right in the Suicide Squad.
Oh, I haven't seen the new one.
Yeah, there's a part where John Cena, like they're like doing like a shoot off where they're just killing people. It's funny, like the 2 assassins just killing random people, and then he shoots a guy and he shoots him in the arm, and then Idris Elba's like, "You miss." He's like, "Inflatable bullets," and then the guy just explodes.
Oh god!
Like, he doesn't turn into a balloon. He just like explodes and blood goes everywhere.
Interesting.
And I'm like, that's how you use that. You don't turn a guy into a fucking balloon.
Yeah, it was silly. When the couch inflated, I was like, "What is this supposed to be?" Like, whatever. What else was there? The car didn't have any gadgets.
The boat
didn't really have anything.
I think that was it. I think it was inflatable gun, hang glider, and the
watch.
Yeah,
because the spinning saw on the watch was like, that's all right, but like it wasn't. It almost felt like they just threw it in.
You needed some Q.
Yeah, you need Q. There's I don't know if I said it on the podcast earlier. But like watching these films, I was like, man, I kind of don't like when Q introduces the thing because you're like, okay, they're going to use that later. But then I got what I was looking for in this, where it was, oh, he has a gadget that wasn't explained. And I was like, oh, this is worse. I was like, yeah, I don't like that. Like, I want Q back.
And then I go back to Dr. No, and you're like, I want the gadgets. And I'm like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Because now your 2 favorites are Dr. No and Honor Majesty's Secret Service, the 2 without gadgets.
Yeah. No. Secret Service had some.
Oh, it doesn't?
It had the safe crack.
But that's not a gadget.
That's a gadget. It doesn't have any, like, stupid showboaty.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god,
It's an actual spy thing. It's not like an actual fucking. It's not a fucking.
Yeah.
He's not using a jetpack.
Yeah. Which movie had he like built the small helicopter?
Oh, You Only Live Twice? The Little Nelly?
Yeah, that Little Nelly was so stupid.
Yeah. It's gonna get worse from here. We're like 3 movies away from that man going to space. You know that, right?
Yeah.
We're going to space soon.
I'm not excited.
Star Wars is coming.
Yeah. Here we go. The next one is Cars, which the Pimpmobile was sick.
Oh, we have 70s Cars, baby. 5 stars automatically.
Yeah. The use of Cars to show character, like that. They call it a Pimpmobile. The Pimpmobile shows up on a busy street that's just like normal, like Oldsmobiles and stuff, and then you just see this like bone white crazy pimp car come rolling down, and it's like, okay, this is gonna be cool. And then he uses a mirror gun. Oh, mirror gun, that's kind of a gadget. That was pretty cool. It wasn't a Bond gadget.
Yeah, it wasn't a Bond gadget, so I'm not counting it.
Yeah, the bad guys had better gadgets in this than Bond.
Absolutely.
And that was really the bus.
Yeah, I like the bus.
Yeah, and we could put the boat in this too.
I like the boats.
I really liked the speedboat was cool. I liked the idea of having that too.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, my cousin's got the fastest boat on the river.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll give it like a 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like the gadget cars, so I'm looking forward to Aston Martin or something again.
Yeah. What's next?
Bond. We're looping back.
All right.
He's bad.
He's real bad.
He
has his moments. He has his
A
moments. He has them when he's just being like a dick.
He ruined this movie for me.
Yeah, I don't know. Like he has like no chemistry. Like he just sucks out any chemistry with every actor. Like he never feels organically placed within a moment.
It doesn't feel like he's leading any scenes either.
Yeah, he feels like a sidekick in his own movie.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
Yeah,
and, like I don't think it's all his age, but like
it's not.
Very weird when it's like romantic scenes or even the scenes with M when it's like, okay, this is.
It's because he comes off as like an upper class schoolboy.
Yeah.
Too, or he's like so posh and he's so like. I guess debonair, but like he has none of like the suave brutishness of Connery or like the actual like I am a brute of Lazenby. He doesn't have the sensitivity of Lazenby.
Yeah, there's like no sensitivity in this at all.
Yeah, and it's weird because he has that like reputation of being the sensitive Bond. But like he really doesn't. At least in this, and definitely not in this one. I know he does a little bit in the later ones, but like this is him at the perfect age to be Bond, and like obviously he becomes more sensitive because he looks like he's a grandpa, like later on. So it's like you can't.
I forgot this is the youngest he's gonna be in a Bond movie.
Yeah, that's how years work.
Yeah.
So the next one, I think he's like 48. Or something, or no, hold on. How old is this motherfucker?
He's old now. I looked up the cast, so if you've watched any of these,
now.
I'm bad with names. So I had the character list up, and man, he looked pretty old.
He's dead. He's been dead for.
It wasn't a picture of his corpse. It was a picture of him just looking old.
Okay.
And I was like, oh man, he's doing the math.
So he's 46 here.
Yeah, that's pretty old.
Yeah. So he's going to be 47 in the next movie.
Like in stills and stuff too. He looks like pretty good. But then once he's moving.
Yeah, no.
I'm a little disappointed.
That this is the man who plays Bond the most.
Yeah.
Well, technically Connery does. They do an equal amount, but it's in an unofficial Bond movie, so it doesn't count.
Yeah.
I
want him to get better, but everyone says he doesn't.
Like he does, and then he doesn't again because by the time he gets better, he's 50, and that should be like the last year you can play Bond. You know, like that should be like, all right, it's time to hang it up.
Yeah.
You know,
time to pass the mantle.
But then he does like 4 more.
not excited.
It's just like, I don't know, man. I mean, and this movie made a ton of money.
Good.
So much money. It saved the series.
It
Because it was ripping off blaxploitation and it had a Paul McCartney song.
Oh, that's a good point too. Because I was gonna say, because the last one, it didn't like. That's why Sean didn't come back, right?
No, the Diamonds Are Forever made a shit ton of money.
Oh, okay.
On Majesty's Secret Service didn't.
Did not. Okay.
It was the lowest grossing Bond movie, and they blamed it on Lazenby which is fair because Lazenby had already said that he wasn't coming back. So I was like, why should we watch this new movie with the new Bond who isn't coming back?
Yeah, exactly.
It's his fault.
It's his agent's fault.
Yeah, and Roger Moore sucks, and this does not bode well for the rest of his filmography, especially since, from my memory, the next one is the next worst film that we'll be watching since Diamonds Are Forever.
Looking forward to it.
So that's going to conclude this episode. Be sure to look up our Letterboxd ranking of where this film will be.
They'll be in the description.
Mm-hmm. And next week is The Man with the Golden Gun with the great Christopher Lee.
Oh, I forgot it was Christopher Lee.
Yeah, wait to see a wasted opportunity. And that's going to conclude this episode of Live and Let Die. My ranking is probably 3.5 stars.
Yeah, mine's probably around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 3.5.
Okay.
For me, too.
Well, be sure to subscribe to Nihilist Media. Watch our films. There's a trailer for a new film coming out, directed by Colin. Be sure to listen to the other podcasts, like 296 and the Monday Night War. And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, have a good one, everybody.